Hello, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Jules and Gems podcast. It is your boy, the Jewel, and today I have another gem with me. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you to somebody you probably don't know because he's literally not from here. And not saying that he's an alien, but he's literally not from this side of the pond. And I tell people all the time about this friend that I have from where he's from, and people are blown away. They're like, what? And I'm like, dude, internet, man. I don't know what to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you to my friend. Do you want me to call you Bard? How do you want me to address you?
I think it might be easier to call me Bard because my real name is so, I don't know, some people have difficulties pronouncing it.
Okay, no, that's fine. I mean, I've always known you as Bard, but I was just unsure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just go by your username, my buddy Bard Freak. That's gonna be interesting for some people who don't know about. Like, okay, guys, I met him online. He met me online. You know, so this is how I've always known him. Actually, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and give us a little rundown of who you are. How do you know me? And how did we meet, man? Just go ahead and throw that down real quick.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Sunil, or more commonly known as Bard or Bard Freak. I know it's a bit of a cringe name, but it was like when I was like in primary school, okay? So it was like 10, 15 years ago, whatever. I met Jules online actually on this little website you may have heard of called Twitch TV, which is a live streaming platform. And I actually didn't meet Jules. I met him through someone else, through a mutual friend that we both have, Dinkley, who is a streamer. Well, not so much anymore, but she still streams sometimes. So we actually got to know each other through Dinkley because I was Dinkley's friend before she started streaming, and I was there to support her, and I ended up getting to know Jules through Dinkley, which is crazy because um, I think he was one of my actual like first internet friends. Like obviously I've met acquaintances, I've had people that I play games with and that kind of thing, but Jules was really one of my first friends that I got to know. I got to know where he was from, and what he did for a living, like that sort of thing. And we actually ended up meeting in real life as well, which is sort of for me, like now I don't see Jules as like an internet friend anymore. For me, he's just a friend. Like I would talk to him as I would any other friend I've met from any other way in my life. So yeah.
Oh, dude. All right. Well, I'm completely blushing. Good thing there's no cameras on me. Uh, yeah, like my buddy said, man. He met me through Twitch when I was live streaming, and he wasn't even me live streaming at the time. I actually got into Dinkley's Twitch stream before I decided to stream myself. She was actually one of the reasons I decided to start. Actually, I tell her all the time, and but yeah, I got in there. I liked the vibes. I hung out. I actually was brave enough to say something in chat, and then before you know it, like I like it here. I like everything about it. So then through that, I got to know more about her community, people that she knows, her friends, blah blah blah. And Bard was obviously one of her biggest supporters, and so he was always there. End up being like her mod for like the whole time, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
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 So yeah, we met through Twitch, and there was a convention, which was
Hmm.
literally one of the first times I actually traveled by myself, and it was in California, and I was lucky enough to meet my friend, and he's from Singapore, guys. He is from across the planet. So for me to be able to say that I met my friend from Singapore, I mean, it's just crazy. It probably cost him a lot of money, so I was grateful. it cost me some money, but probably not as much as him for us to meet. And I mean, definitely he wasn't there to meet me, which is fine. I mean, it's fine. But
Oh, don't say that. I mean,
we were there so we could all meet together because none of us had met in person. I mean, I don't know. Had you and Dinkley hadn't met in person yet, right?
we actually met in June. I was there in June. I was in LA in June
Oh, that's
of that
right.
year. And
That's
then a
right.
few months later, I was like, man, I gotta go again. I had only been back for like what, 2 months, 2.5 months, and I was like, yeah, I gotta go again. And so I did, but we were there in, I think, end September, right?
Yeah,
So
in
like
September.
3 months. Yeah, something like that. So I went twice in one year.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, so
Hmm.
I've totally forgot about that, and then that was the first time that I had seen you because she did like a live stream, right? She had did like
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
IRL stream,
it did. Yep,
and
yep.
I was like, oh snap, no, okay, and then yeah, and then I got to meet you in person, and everyone got to meet me in person, and they were like, oh, so that's what you look like. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just playing. But we had a great time. It was to this day, I even tell them to this day, every time that we were able to go to TwitchCon and hang out, because we did it that first year and then the year after. That was only 2 times.
Hmm.
And both those times were literally like the highlight of my years, the highlight of my year, those years. So
Yeah,
it was just so fun, and it's good to meet people that have common interests and kind of get your humor and want to hang out with you, and and then you're like, let's
absolutely.
go to the place of sunshine and
Yeah.
enjoy some really good. We had all kinds of cool stuff going on over there. We had good vibes, good music, food.
Oh,
Oh man,
definitely.
it was a good time.
Yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed myself, and it's one of those things, right? I think that's one of the points of TwitchCon is that you meet people in real life that you met online, and you form like closer friendships. It's such a it's such a
Especially
cool
if you're a
place for an
simp. You know
event.
what I mean? I'm
Exactly. When
gonna
you
go see
finally
my
get to
waifu.
meet, yeah, when you finally get to meet who you've been giving your tier 3 sub to every month,
Oh,
like,
dude. Yeah.
yeah, it's that holy place for that.
Oh man. If only they made the venue better. But anyway, I'm not gonna get
Yeah,
started about
well.
that. But no, it was definitely an experience for me because I had never been to California. I've never traveled by myself. And it was kind of
Hmm.
like a kind of a big deal for me because I was just like, dude, I can't believe this is how I'm gonna spend this experience is to go meet internet strangers. You know? I
Right,
mean,
right. Yeah, it
they
must have
weren't.
been a weird thought at the time.
Yeah, at the time it was just kind of like, and it was just kind of an obscure type of realization. But at the same time, I wasn't worried because, of course, we'd already become like good friends online by that
Hmm.
point.
Yep.
So it wasn't like complete stranger danger. But at the same time, we got to vibe each other. You know what I mean? And then the second year, they're like, "Hey, we like you enough to like share a house with you," and I'm like, yes. Oh no, dude. No, no. It was fun though. Oh god, so much good memories, so much good times and such. But
Absolutely, man.
let me go ahead and ask you. I don't know if you had said this in your little intro of yourself, but what
Hmm.
is it that you do currently?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually didn't say that. So I run a PC components store in Singapore, and
Hey,
we sell all sorts of PC components. We're a storefront, and well, only recently because of the pandemic, we've had an online presence, but we're more of a retail storefront. So we sell like gaming PC components, um, and I'm very proud to say that you can pretty much build an entire setup just from stuff that you can buy from our stores. So not only the PC, but also like a gaming keyboard, a mouse, monitor,
yeah.
speakers.
There's
So we
like a
sort of
name for that,
expanded.
right? It's called like peripherals.
Yeah, yeah, just like general peripherals that you would need alongside your brand new
Your
gaming
build.
PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of builds, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman right here was one of the people that I went to, especially knowing that he runs this kind of business and he does this for a living. When I decided to build my own PC for the first time, me not knowing anything, I was like, bro, I need your help, man. I have no idea what
Yeah.
I'm doing. And he like walked me through it. He walked me like literally from the moment I asked, grabbed my hand, and like all the way till we got it built and set up. The dude had my, I'm telling you, this guy knows what he's talking about. I mean,
Yeah.
he's obviously in the business, so he was one of the voices that I trusted the most. So without a
You
doubt,
did great, man. You did great.
and I mean, I would have done terrible if I didn't know what I was doing. If I didn't know, what to go for and products
Right.
to yeah. So I was like, basically, I
Yeah.
went to him and I was like, look, okay, so this is what I want to do. I want to build something that where I can both, I was live streaming at the time. I was like, look, I have a gaming laptop and it's not hitting it. It's not busting
Hmm.
for the computing power isn't there. It's got a graphics card and it can run games solo. Like if it's like your basic gaming laptop where you can play games on it, it'll run fine. But it was having issue of like trying to play a game and stream at the same time. It's a lot you need, a lot more apparently. So I was like, yo, so how do I do it? What do I need that is within this budget? And he was like, easy, I got you. And then just boom, 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 a list of these products. And I'm like, huh, okay. Basically just went to one website and then we like shopped. We had like a little virtual shopping cart and just boom, 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 boom. And yeah, I was like, bro, I'm gonna spend my Christmas bonus and treat myself and invest in myself and
Yeah, I
get
remember
this
that.
yeah, and build this
Hmm.
PC. And I was like, bro, when I get all the parts in, I'm gonna want to live stream me building it. And that's kind of like an exciting thing for a lot of people. And yeah, we did that. I remember all the parts came in and I was like, I got him in a call like he is right now. That was you and Jimmy, right?
I think so. Yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy was one of my other buddies. So I had one guy from Singapore in my ear telling me how to build this PC, and Jimmy from Australia in my ear helping me build this PC because I wanted to be sure I did it right because I knew in my own hands I've got a pretty good reputation of screwing things up. So I did not want that to happen. Which after the fact, it was all said and done, I'm like, dude, it's actually not that hard at all. It's like
Yeah.
it's just a couple of steps, but just realizing what each thing does and where things plug in, and boom, that's it.
Yeah. A lot of people they have that sort of like premonition that it's going to be really difficult because and obviously they don't want to screw anything up because the parts can get really expensive, right? But I always attribute it to like just putting Legos together because as long as you buy compatible parts, they all will just fit together like Legos, no problem. So nothing really to be worried about. There's always instructions that come with every product that shows you how to install it. There's always YouTube videos you can watch.
Yeah.
And the people that just don't want to deal with the whole hassle of building it, so I say, yeah, I'll build it for you for a fee. I'll build
Right,
it for you,
right,
no
right.
problem. So
So I
yeah,
didn't
it's
I didn't have
always
to pay him. I was like, no, I'm gonna do it
no, no,
myself.
no. Yeah, yeah, and you did great, man. You did great. Like your PC is still good, right?
Oh
So
yeah, man. I just need
you
to
did a
upgrade
great
all the
job.
parts that I bought, but because it's been a while. But I mean, it still
Well,
works just fine.
now it's not a really good time for upgrades, if
I
you know what I
know,
mean.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, for anybody who doesn't know, is that there's like a shortage of like everything that's cool right now. Like it's hard to
Pretty
find
much.
anything. And
Pretty much.
yeah, man. And actually speaking of that, how did this pandemic and like knowing that these parts and such are really like a trouble to get your hands on, how does that affect your business?
You know, we were already thinking. So I started this business with my cousin, right out of uni. I was just finishing uni, and then my cousin propositioned me with this idea. So we started this business, and we had been running it for like a couple of years. And then near the end of 2019, so this was before anything, we sort of had this idea that maybe we should sort of transition to more online to the online space basically. And why we thought that was because our retail customers were like dropping, and we realized that it's not that people like weren't interested in PCs anymore, it's just that they were taking their business online just
Mm,
because it's easy, right? You can order something,
right.
you don't even have to leave your house, and it gets to you. So we thought it might be a good idea to at least set up an online storefront and sell some products there, and like gauge how we do online versus how we do retail. And maybe the eventual end goal could be to stop leasing, a rental unit in like a big mall, and just lease like a warehouse and just send stuff out from there. So we can move fully online. So when the pandemic hit, we were very fortunate to be in a position where we already had all the logistics set up for like an online presence, because we had to close. Like,
The
we received
store.
word, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we received word from our government that we would be going into lockdown, and we were not considered to be one of the essential services that would operate. And they were actually really helpful to us, because they offered us a lot of resources to allow us to move a lot of our business online. They offered us some um, like incentives to move online. They offered us some cuts for our lease. Like, we didn't have to pay our lease for the entire lockdown. So they were really helpful to us
Dang.
as well. But we had to sort of super scale, super speed up our entire inventory to become an online store. And we had to figure out, first of all, whether we would want to run our own web store on our own website, or make use of like an online marketplace. Like in Singapore, not until recently in the past year, Amazon wasn't really a big thing, because we would have to order stuff from the US Amazon. Only recently we've had our own Singapore Amazon, which we've of
Mm.
course transitioned to. But a really popular online marketplace we have is Lazada, and we had to totally shift into Lazada because we realized that, whoa, setting up a web store and making sure it's stable and all of that is going to be really expensive. And at the time, Lazada was the cheaper option, because all we had to do was move a lot of our inventory into their warehouse, and they would take care of all the logistics for us. And then we just pay them like a nominal fee for this. And yeah, we just get like, we charge however we charge, and we get our revenue that way.
Very
So
nice.
so we had to transition completely online, which was pretty crazy, because before that, I was never working at home because my job is in the store, right? I have to
Right.
be there physically every single day
Building the
to build
PCs and such.
PCs,
Yeah.
to troubleshoot PCs that come in, to deal with emails with vendors and stuff. I do everything in the store. But yeah, we had to pretty much shut shop for like 3 months. I think we were in lockdown, and yeah, I had to do everything online. I had to um, deal with vendors, have meetings with them online, since we couldn't meet physically anymore, and figure out the logistics of moving stuff from here and there. And at one point, I had so much, like, well, not crap, but like so much stock in my house, because I had nowhere to put it. So I put it in my house. It was all over my house, and it was just a big mess. But I think now we've been in this pandemic for like over a year, so we've sort of smoothened things out. The store is open again. We're open every day, and yeah, it's been working really well for us. So thankfully, we weren't affected too badly. Like, you know,
Taking a
mainly
huge
because
loss. Yeah.
mainly because the business we're in is what people need to survive in this pandemic, like
Yeah.
computers, computer products.
And that's
Um,
why a lot of this stuff started going like out of stock so fast.
Exactly. So you couldn't even buy not just gaming PCs, but even laptops were getting sold out because people needed them for school. Their
For the
company,
Zoom and all that, yeah.
yeah, for the Zoom, their people's companies gave them money to buy laptops for work. It's such a it's just a shift because you can find anything, and a lot of people think, oh, you're out of stock of this item. That's good for you, right? Because but it's actually really bad because we don't make any money if we're out of stock. The
Yeah, we
revenue
we
just
don't
stops.
build the products here, so we can't just like
Exactly.
keep it in stock and such. So if we don't have it in stock, we're losing potential revenue.
Yeah. And the graphics card shortage, more of the chip shortage actually is the problem.
Yeah,
As I found out from a vendor, really had us thinking on our feet on how to make sure that everyone who pre-ordered a graphics card, it would go into a system that would actually use the card, and we wouldn't see like people reselling these cards on the market because that's not what we want because it reflects badly on us that we're not able to screen these people before they resell the
exactly.
card.
Yeah.
So we actually had to come up with a system where you could only buy an entire PC with the card. So that would sort of prevent people from um, building or buying just a card and trying to resell it for like double the retail price or like triple the retail price.
Yeah,
So that's what we had to do. We had to include these cards in pre-builds. So we would give people options so they could customize the pre-builds, but they had to buy
a
the
pre-build.
entire PC
Yeah.
in order to get the card for that price. Otherwise, we wouldn't sell it to them because even we had very, very limited stock. Um, like right now, I can tell you, like of the new graphics cards that are released, I think I have two,
Okay, so go ahead and
and
send me
and
that
they're
one or one of them. Appreciate it.
and I was gonna say they're already earmarked for people, so I have nothing pretty much. I'm just
Oh
waiting on
wow.
new shipments to come in. It's a pretty crazy world out there, but thankfully we've been sustaining ourselves because we sell a lot of other things that people need as well. So we've been doing okay. We've definitely taken a hit, but overall, I think we're doing okay.
Okay. So without I mean, obviously you took you took a hit, right? Because
Hmm.
it's not status quo. Um,
Yeah.
through this, what would you say is like your top selling something that you probably could always have in stock, but also it's like everyone wants one um in your store.
Um, I would say definitely graphics cards because most of the products that we sell are gaming PCs. We do sell workstations from time to time, but it's always, from what I've realized, it's always people coming in and asking us, "Hey, do you have this in stock? Do you have this graphics card available? Do you have the MSI RTX 3070 available?" And we always tell them no because I'm sure these guys are going around to every store and asking them the same question. But I think a lot of people um, upgrade graphics cards more often than any other component in their PC, I feel.
Yeah, because
Because,
I would say that that's probably one of the it's either the graphics card or your CPU are the things that
yeah,
you would need to upgrade to get like a significant boost in performance.
definitely. And the thing is, when games, like the most significant performance you'll see is upgrading your graphics card. Like upgrading your CPU, sure, you can improve your performance 5-10%. But if you move from one generation to the next, you can see a lot of gains, like 20-30% performance gains. So I think graphics cards probably the most popular item that we always are able to sell really well.
Are the graphics cards?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
graphics cards.
okay, okay. I was
Mm.
just curious because I mean that's what I would think is that the graphics cards sell the most because it's like you said one of the most upgradable in more proficient and upgradability, but also it was just kind of like, well, I mean, with this shortage of the chips, I didn't know if graphics cards were hard to come by or still hard to get in stock. I mean, obviously the newer ones are the ones that are like hot ticket items and hard to get and hard to sell. Well,
You'd be surprised. Yeah, of course we don't get many every month. I would say we get maybe 15 graphics cards every month, like from different vendors. So like MSI will send us three, EVGA will send us three. It's tough out there, but a lot of people like they don't have a choice, right? They just want to finish off their PC. They'll buy anything. We have old GPUs that we've pulled out that have sold no problem. Like I have like GTX 1650s and stuff from like 2, 3 years ago that are selling just fine.
yeah, yeah,
Like they were not really in the equation a few years ago because, if you can get this for 249, you might as well get something 10% better for 299. So a lot of people will use that logic to upgrade to a better card, and but now you can give someone a decent graphics card, they'll buy it. Like they won't even think twice just because they know how difficult it is to get one.
yeah. Absolutely. I
They'll
mean,
buy it.
if
They'll buy it.
if I'd be in that same position too, if I was able to go, if I was in the market to go, I mean, technically I could buy one, but like you said, it's hard to find, and
Yeah.
but my graphics,
Yeah.
my current graphics card is is pretty old, so any upgrade would actually benefit me.
It's actually doubly difficult for us because a lot of the stock that gets made doesn't come to us. Like obviously they go to the bigger countries first, the USA, the UK, Europe, Australia.
Mm.
So we get like the scraps. So yeah, yeah. Like it's not like they're mean to us or whatever. It's just a matter of like how many we're gonna sell, right? Like
Mm.
obviously, a store like Micro Center will get hundreds more cards than we'll ever see. But it's tough because we have a really really big community here that's into like PC gaming, and they're
And
getting short shafted.
yeah, and obviously that's
Yeah.
the reason why y'all went into that kind of business.
Right. Yeah. So my cousin propositioned this to me. This was like at the tail end of 2016, 2017, when I was just finishing uni, and I actually already started applying for like jobs. And he came to me with this idea that we should do this because at the time there was no such store running. So what people would do, what I would do even, was to buy stuff from like Amazon US or Newegg US, and I would have to pay like import fees and like shipping and all of that.
Hmm.
Um, and it was expensive, right?
Right.
So a lot of people did the same thing, and my cousin had this idea, why don't we open like a local retailer and we can offer local warranties so people, in the situation that a product isn't working how it should, they wouldn't have to send it all the way to the US, get it repaired, and then send it all the way back and be without that component for like weeks or months even.
Right.
So we talked to a few vendors. They were interested to open up this market in Singapore, and we managed to bring some products in. And yeah, it wasn't um, easy at first because we had to put in all of the money we had pretty much, and I was a student at the time, so I didn't even have that much
Mm.
like savings to put in. But we worked day and night, and it's not easy. It's not easy. It's hustle, and we worked really hard, and we did really well. We did really really well at first, and we expanded from like a small store in a strip mall sort of thing to like a bigger unit in like a big mall within 6 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because we were flying after some time. We were doing really well. But eventually we've had competitors, as is always the case.
Yeah. Whenever you
Other
get to
people
that
realizing,
next tier,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, it's sort of stabilized over time, which is good, which is what I prefer actually. I don't like having like really good months and then having really bad months. I rather
Yeah.
it average out over time. That's my preference, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's smooth
Um,
and steady, man, not
yeah,
fluctuating and sporadic and chaotic.
exactly, exactly. That's the thing about like being self-employed. You don't know how much you're gonna make. You know, like people always ask me, "How much do you make?" I don't know.
Hey,
I don't
Bart,
know how much I
how
make.
much do you make?
Everyone asks me the same question. They're like, "Oh, how much do you make a month, or how much do you make a year?" I don't know. It's just some months are good, some months are bad. It's hard to say. But I'm doing well. I'm able to take care of myself, and I'm able to meet whatever
Yeah,
goals I want to
big
meet.
big
So
house and how many cars? Just kidding.
yeah, yeah, it's difficult, man. Being self-employed is a very interesting thing. For me, I've never had like a real job. I mean, I've never been like a salaried employee, so I don't even know what that's like.
Ooh, let me tell
Um,
you.
yeah. But it's not easy. Like I definitely recognize that a lot of people are like, man, I wish I could be self-employed. I could be my own boss. I'm like, you can try it, man. It's not all,
It's not all.
roses and
Yeah,
yeah,
it's some hard work, man. You gotta really, you gotta have a passion for it, and it's not gonna just be
absolutely.
given to you. You gotta put in
Absolutely.
effort and such, and you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta have a goal. Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
So that kind of like makes me think of something. Now I want to ask you a couple of questions, but one question, man, I want to get this out the way. This is
Okay.
something that I personally just need to get out in the open, man. Okay, so what's this business about you being royalty, dog? Tell me what this is about, bro. Because I don't know if it's a rumor. I don't know if it's a joke. Are you actual royalty in Singapore? Like, what? Okay, if it's fake, where did it start? And if it's real, I mean, we got to talk about it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I think this stemmed from Dinkley actually calling me royalty, calling me a prince for some reason. And I think this stemmed, okay, I think I know the story. So I went to school at NUS,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I would say, a pretty prestigious university. It's a pretty good school.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to school, I had a classmate who was an actual prince.
Okay.
Yeah, so um, I'm not gonna reveal any
Of
names or
course not.
whatever,
No, no,
because,
no.
but he was a prince from a neighboring country that came over, and he was about my age, and he was my classmate. Um,
Did you make friends with
and
him?
yeah, yeah, we were really close. We're still really close. I still talk to him a lot of the time.
Oh, okay, cool,
Um,
cool, cool, cool.
yeah, so we became friends, and we hung out, and um, it's it's crazy. Like someone like him lives um a totally different life. You know, like for me, okay, I'm not like saying this to say, but I come from a pretty affluent background myself. Like, I never really had to worry about money or anything like that. My parents always took care of me. But someone like him, it's a whole new level, and you can't even blame him for living that lifestyle because he was born into it, right?
Right.
So sometimes, we would go over to his um, house to study or work on a project or whatever, because we actually became pretty close friends during our time in school.
Mm.
And it's crazy. You would walk in the door, and there would be someone there to help you take off your shoes.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
like this guy was an actual, like he had the blood of royalty in him, and his whole family was royalty that descended down from like thousands of years ago, like generations ago. And So I went over to his house. I remember the first time I went over to his house. You know how sometimes you go to like holiday resorts, and then when you get in, they give you
I mean, let me go ahead and
like a
stop you
cup of
there.
yeah.
Never. I've never been to a holiday resort.
So
That's already some contrast right there. Jesus, like the best
yeah,
I got, bro, honestly, was probably like a really nice hotel. Well, like what's a really nice local freaking chain here that's like
like a
decent?
Hilton, like a Hilton.
Dude, not even a Hilton, bro. I've never been I've never been in a Hilton. I think the best it gets is like freaking man, what's the best hotel I've been in?
Four
Man,
Seasons, maybe.
some for like maybe a Four Seasons, a Red Roof
Yeah,
Inn, Holiday Inn
yeah.
Express. I don't, bro. I'm telling you, I come from humble beginnings, man. So yeah, yeah. He starts to. You know how you go on a vacation resort? No, never experienced that. So, but let me try to wrap my head around what you're gonna continue with.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
So basically, what I'm trying to say is sometimes you go to holiday resorts, and to welcome you, they give you like a warm towel, and they give you like a soothing drink.
Oh wow.
As soon as you like walk in to like check into your villa or whatever, they give you like a warm towel. They give you like a cooling drink, ask you how your flight was.
Just top tier service
Yeah, yeah. So like just like a welcoming gesture, and that's exactly what happened.
at his house.
So we came home. We went to his house, which wasn't a house, by the way.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
I've already
It
not
wasn't.
pictured a house. I've already pictured
Yeah.
a resort. Uh,
It wasn't. It wasn't even like a mansion. It was more of like an estate. I would say an estate is the best way to describe the house. There's
okay.
a long, very detailed garden leading up to the front door, and the stairs going up to the big main door with two doors, not one door. And then there's somebody waiting outside the door with a drink. And then you open the door, and there's somebody inside waiting to take off your shoes for you, which I was like, whoa, I can take off my own shoes,
Okay,
buddy.
so this guy that's waiting to take off your shoes, I gotta know, is he standing or is he already like down on all fours? Like how what is his positioning?
All right, so we went into the house. The door opens, and he's there, and he says, "Welcome." And because they're prince, he's a prince, right? So he says, "Welcome, Your Highness," because that's just how they're known.
Wow.
Like, obviously, I don't call him that because
Right.
f that, right? But like their help at home, they call them by how they should be known as, and he calls me sir as well. And I was like, oh, hello. Because I was already like, oh, hello there. And we went into the house, and he starts to like sort of bend down, and I think he's like expecting me to lift my feet up,
Mm,
and I'm like, whoa. And he's like, "Oh, sir, I'm just gonna take your shoes off for you." I'm like, "Oh no, it's okay. Like it's totally okay. Don't even worry about it. Like, no worries." And I think I was wearing shoes that I didn't really have to like untie to take off, so I could just pull them off.
yeah.
And I was like, look, like boom, 2 seconds, it's off. Like thank you so much, but um, I don't need it.
You don't
And
like your feet
the
touched, huh?
well, I mean,
In the right context.
in the right context, you know what I'm saying?
Just not by some guy I randomly know who's standing by a door that I don't live in. Okay, I got
So,
you.
yeah. So, um, and then my friend, he's just laughing at me, and he's saying, "Man, I knew that would sort of freak you out." He said, "I hate that too. Like, nobody ever does it, but I told him to do it just to like freak you out." I was like, "Man,
Wow.
yeah." Like, man.
He pulled a trick on you. That's funny.
So we went into this house, and obviously it's this palace, right? It's just the most beautiful home, the most classic kind of mansion look with like, the Roman pillars, and like it has a really nice stained glass dome ceiling and like a spiral staircase, and it's just the works pretty much.
So you start
And
taking pictures.
I didn't actually. I
No?
didn't.
Oh, okay.
Just
Good,
because
good.
I was sort of like living in the moment, and I was like, "Geez." And you know what's crazy? You know what I was thinking of at the time? I'm like, "Damn, how long does it take to clean this place?"
Bro. I mean, that's why they got staff on
Yeah,
like 24
exactly.
hours.
Yeah, they got staff on deck, bro. Like they have a separate home
Mm,
and within the estate, and it's just for like the help.
that makes
And it's
sense.
like it's like a decent sized home, and it's just for all of them,
Well,
which
yeah,
is
I'd hope
yeah,
so. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
don't want to have them like just living in a closet somewhere in the back. Like
yeah,
treat your help
exactly,
right.
exactly. So yeah, overall, the good thing about him is that he was a really nice guy. He was a really humble guy. And if you saw him like on the street, you would never know who he was, which I feel like is the case for most people of that kind of stature. Like if you saw them on the street, you just wouldn't know. There would be no way to tell. Um, but he was a super nice guy, super humble guy. Um, yeah, it was. So I guess that's where it stems from.
Okay, but so
But-
how does Dinkley come in the picture? You told
so
her about it? This your friend, or that's why I asked if you had took pictures, because it's like if you took pictures and then like sent it to her, like, hey, look where I'm at, and then that's like I can see where that stems. Like, oh, that's because she calls you Prince because of some pictures you sent her.
so yeah, so how this came about, I think I'm not sure what we were talking about, but there was some subject of like royalty because I was born in England. I wasn't born in Singapore. I was born in England, and I think we were talking about British royalty or something like that. Like the princes. And I think I brought up the story. I was like, oh, funny story. I actually know like a prince. Like I'm good friends with him.
Yeah,
And yada yada. And it eventually became like, oh, so you're a prince too, because princes know other princes, or something like
or
that.
it's
I,
like
I
to the
might be
fact to
like
where
mixing
you were
up the
tight with him enough that you're like basically a brother,
yeah,
ergo you
yeah,
become a
yeah, yeah.
prince. Oh, okay.
So like that's where the like meme
This whole
sort of
time,
started.
dude, this whole time, I actually, okay, I'm not gonna lie, the whole time, like till this moment, I thought like there was some kind of low key, like we can't really talk about it, but like he's an actual prince, like he's some royalty. And to find out that this whole time it was just she was trolling,
Yeah.
I'm kind of upset, but it's funny. But I'm like still like just kind of like
I'm
bamboozled.
sorry.
No, it's fine.
Sorry you
It's
haven't
not your
met
fault.
royalty.
Yeah. No, but like it's not your fault. That's why I'm like, oh wow. I feel like a fool, but at the same time, like, okay, it's fine because it's no big deal. But at the same time, it's like I am I'm a clown emoji for believing this for all this time.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, no, I just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure I understood that and that's on record. So, Dinkley, I'm gonna be having a conversation with you real soon. That's insane.
Just so I'm not royalty. I have normal blood, like
You're a
all the
regular
rest
Joe
of us.
Schmo.
Regular Joe.
I did not know you were born in England though. Did you say that right?
I was actually, yeah. So what happened was, my parents are Singaporean, but they moved to England because my dad started his business um and moved to England to be sort of closer to where he felt it would be better, and my whole family just moved along with him.
Mm.
So I was only I think like 3 or 4 years old when we moved back to Singapore. So I was born in England and we moved back when I was like 3 or 4, um, because he wanted to set up like a permanent headquarters in Singapore. So that's what we did. We moved there and we moved back. But I really, really strong roots to England because my grandparents still live there. My father's parents still live there.
Wow.
And yeah, I talk to them all the time. They're doing good. They made it through this whole pandemic. They're totally good. Um, and yeah, it's been actually a long time since I visited them, at least like 4 or 5 years. So I think I might go like once this is all over. I'm gonna go and see them because I mean they're getting old, right? So who knows when the next time I'll be able to see them. After this will be. So I'm gonna go and see them when I can.
And
Um,
then you're coming to
but
see
yeah,
me. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, sure, man. I would
Because
love
I might
to.
not be getting old, but I am old. I am getting old, and that kind of makes me. That reminds me of like that time that there was like this big worldwide event that
Hmm.
happened here locally in my uh, where I live,
Hmm.
and it made like global news all the way to the point where you heard about it and you reached out to
Oh
me,
yeah.
which literally to this day I won't forget because it was just interesting and also a little bit sad because because
Hmm.
I was like telling people, I was like, bro, I got this guy from across the world hearing about this, checking on me to see if I'm okay, not knowing what time it is
Yeah.
for him. And he's like, dude, I hear what's going on. Are you safe? Are you good? And meanwhile, I have people who've known me for over a decade, um, live in the same. I didn't get nothing from them, so I was kind of like, dude, y'all need to step up, man. Like, y'all need to take notes from my boy over here. But yeah, man, that reminded me of that. So hey, you never know when that thing's gonna happen again. So you need to come visit.
Absolutely, man.
Okay, actually, you
Absolutely.
know what? I'm probably not here because it's not that great here. But we'll meet in California again.
I mean, yeah, seriously, like we can go whenever. I think this pandemic has also made me realize a lot of things about myself. Like I don't really want to hold out, and postpone things because yeah, there's always going to be another day.
Mm,
I think this whole pandemic has made me realize that I gotta stop taking things for granted and start, you
let's
know,
go.
acting on
Yeah,
them, and that sort of thing. Like it sucks that I didn't realize it before, but I'm sort of glad that this came about because it made me realize so many things.
that's great,
And
man. That's
yeah, yeah.
actually really important, man. I think, and like, I don't know if anybody who's listening has listened to like past episodes, but that's something that I brought up, especially in my first episode. Is like I remember saying that the more you learn about yourself, the better, because the better you know yourself, the more you're able to live this thing called life easier. You know what I mean? With better
Exactly.
understanding comes power. With knowledge
Hmm.
comes power. And this is something I told my coworkers, like, bro, knowledge is power. Not just because he's like working to get, more education. He's working to get his GED. Uh,
That's good, man.
yeah,
Really.
it's pretty great, and it's gonna open up some doors for him. But I told him, like, dude, not only when I say knowledge is power, I'm not just saying like knowledge as in things you get from a book or a classroom, but knowledge of yourself is just as important, man. I feel like there's
Mm.
a lot of people that don't get spend enough time like learning about themselves. So like it actually helps with, how you live your day to day. Dude, relationships. If you know more about yourself, you're able to navigate relationships a lot easier, bro. You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
You're not so confused or, like what's going on, this and that emotionally. If you can just stay grounded in your understanding of yourself and just stay to that truth, then your relationships, you wouldn't have to stress in them as much, because women can be stressful. Let's just make sure that we all understand that. I think we can all
No,
agree.
that's really well said, man. I completely agree. It's all about finding yourself and making sure you know what you want, and um, from there you're able to sort of project yourself to other people the way you want to be seen.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's
Mhm.
good. There's a lot of people that don't realize that the way they're seen is different than the way that they see themselves.
Exactly.
And I personally I have problems with this because I admittedly don't think highly of myself, which is a good thing, but also like it's not a great thing because there's a lot of times where I question my worth, and
Mm.
but when other people, like my close friends, like you or Dinks, there's a situation and literally you'd be like, what the heck are you talking about, bro? Like, dude, you're like totally this or that. And I'm like, what? Like, no, I don't believe you. Like, and it's just like this mind game that I personally have to deal with because that's just who I am, and that's just one of my struggles. But I mean, it's always
Yeah.
different with people. It always varies.
Oh, yeah, I totally get that, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me ask you just a couple of quick questions, just so we can get a little bit more understanding of who you are.
Yeah, go for
Uh,
it.
okay, so what is something that you're passionate about right now?
You know, throughout the whole pandemic, everything was going on. I was gaining weight. Like, I mean, I think this is the same for most people.
Your boy. I'm thicker than a bowl of oatmeal, dog.
Yeah, so I gained a lot of weight during the pandemic just, from being at home and being able to eat whenever I want. I mean, I'm an adult, I can eat what I want when I want, but it was also really sort of affecting like my mental health, which wasn't a good thing. And earlier this year, I actually oh sorry, at the end of last year, when stuff started to open up again, I started to reach out to some of my friends, and they were starting to form like a trekking hiking group of like 4 or 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, "Do you want to join?" And at the time, I was like, "Man, I'm kind of heavy and lazy," but I hadn't seen this guy since school ended, so I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just see where we go from here." And I'm so glad I did because as soon as I met up with them, they were all like me. They all gained weight. They were all just it was
No
all the
judgment.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all going through the same thing. We all just wanted to get back again, get active, um, and sort of resume back to like daily life. So we went hiking a few times, we went trekking a few times, and it was really nice because not only was the exercise and the fresh air good after like a whole year of being indoors, it was also the being able to catch up with my friends again, find out what they were doing, find out where they were in their lives, tell them where I am in my life. And, I'm jealous of them, they're jealous of me. It's that kind of thing. It
Basic
was
friend
really nice.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice getting to catch up with all of them again and become close to all of them again. And I'm really happy because we meet like every other week now, and we just do a hike or we do a trek, and we like eat after it. We always meet in the morning, and then we do hike or trek for like 3 4 hours, and then we have lunch. And it's the greatest thing. We always do it every couple of weeks, and it's really good. And that sort of kick-started like a whole like health thing for me. I realized that this life is short, and I want to live it healthily. I want to look good and feel good.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
Okay.
I bought a bike as well, a bicycle. And I've been doing morning bike rides or evening bike rides depending on the day whether I work.
Mm.
So yeah, it's been really nice. Like I put on the Jules and Gems podcast, you know, and I go for
Okay, so morning bike ride or evening bike ride. Obviously, it's still morning for you right now, correct? Or what time is it for you right now?
wait, oh, I'm back. Hello?
I lost you
Okay,
there
I'm
for a
not sure.
second.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
was
sure what happened.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you haven't gone on a bike ride yet, right? Today?
Yeah, I'm not going today because I'm going to work soon, so I'll probably go in the evening today.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, the reason why I like to go in the morning or the evening is because there's no sun out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, because if I'm riding in the hot sun, I am, I always feel like more tired and I can't go as far, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so always when before the sun rises, or before the sun's really hot in the afternoon or in the evening as soon as the sun sets, when there's still light.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna ask you a couple more questions and then I'll let you go. Um, Let me ask, what is your personal motto?
Personal motto.
Yeah, personal motto. Would you say you have one?
I would say I have for me, it's not really a motto, but for me, I always want to be positive, you know.
Okay.
Whatever the situation is, I've always told myself just to be positive, just to try and look at things from other perspectives, try and not be negative towards any situation, because not only for myself, but for the situation, like I feel like that's really good advice that you can apply generically to like anything,
Right,
you know.
right.
It doesn't really have to be like relationships or like, business or anything. It can be applied to anything. Just be positive, because um I think that what is that quote? It's something like a bad day only what is that quote? A bad day only affects you if you let it,
Mm,
or like it only becomes a bad day if you let it become a bad day, something like that. I can't remember the exact quote right now.
all right.
What's that quote? I'm not sure if you've heard of it before.
I wouldn't. Not me. I don't think I've heard that. The only when you were saying it, it reminded me of like there's a saying that says a day on the lake is better. A bad day on the lake is better than a good day at the office.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
that's
mean,
true.
that's different.
That's
You
true.
know,
Yeah,
that's
and
more of a.
another big quote is a bad day isn't a bad life, you know?
Oh, that's good. That is good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, bad days are gonna happen, good days are gonna happen. Um, it's just the way of the road, you know? It's
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 this
what it's
life we
what
live.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be
yeah,
positive. So that's a
exactly.
pretty good motto. You know what? When you were talking about that, all I could really think is that, dude, that actually be like a really cool, like low key, very simple like tattoo or brand or something on a t-shirt.
Definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Just a B and then a plus sign. That I'm sure that exists, but
Maybe.
you know what I mean? That would be
Yeah,
dope
maybe,
if you saw
maybe,
that somewhere.
maybe.
Just to be positive. And like, wait, what is that? Like says be positive. Oh snap! Be positive. Oh man, I'm gonna have to write that.
You
Let
better
me.
you better get that trademarked
I know.
before.
I'm gonna actually look right now to see if it like brand.
That's a good idea for a brand.
There's oh wait, be positive apparel. Oh okay, streetwear. Okay, someone's
Yeah.
already thought of it, but that's
Well,
actually really cool though.
so you'll get your $1 million idea soon.
Yeah, it's all right though. I mean, I'm just like I think of like that man. You could get that like tattooed and it wouldn't be something grand. Like you can just have it, somewhere where you can read it and it just be a be positive and it just be like one
Mm-hmm.
of those things that is like a reminder. So
Mm-hmm.
hey, if anybody's listening who gets tattoos and wants like something simple and you're like, what's something that'll be great, meaningful, and helps me, like dude, just get a little be positive somewhere on
Yeah.
your on your body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. Before I let you go. Okay, this is you can take your time with this. How would you like to be remembered?
Oh man, this is this is one of those hard hitting questions.
This is the Jules and Gems podcast.
I want to be remembered as someone who um brought light to people's lives. I don't want to be seen as somebody that, like a negative person or someone didn't contribute, like obviously it's gonna suck, for people that know me once I'm gone, like my loved ones. But I want people, like, okay, in the situation that I'm dead and people find out that I'm dead, I want their I guess I want their reaction to be that, I'm really gonna miss this person because he's gone, because he brought something into my life, and it's gonna be like some energy that I'm gonna miss.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm not sure, because I could affect everyone differently, right? Some people might think I'm funny, some people might think I'm not funny, some people think I'm smart, some people think I'm stupid. I wouldn't know that, but I guess I just want to be like a positive influence in people's lives, and I want people to be happy that they got to know me when I was alive. I guess
Mm,
that's sort of what I want.
okay. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Not to get all deep on you, but
No, no, I love deep, bro. I love deep. I think it inspires, it provokes thought. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Even if
yeah.
it's, for a moment, it provokes thought for whoever I ask, provokes thought for whoever's listening. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know who this is going to reach, but if they're listening, it's something to think about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely. All right, so one last thing. This is something I always do, but I always open it up to my guests if they have any questions for me.
Um, Let me think.
I mean, it can be simple, deep, somewhere in between. It doesn't really matter. But
Yeah.
I don't like to take over. I don't want them the stigma of like, oh, Jules and Jen's podcast. He's just gonna bombard me with questions and blah blah, and then like never get
Oh, I
to
love it.
know Jules himself.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I just want to know, like, how you've been doing, like, generally.
How I've been doing generally. Man, how do I answer this? Do I answer this with uh with the deepness, or do I answer
Answer.
it with just the? Because I
Oh, how?
I I personally don't like whenever I ask the same question and then they're just like give that normal, go to answer. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
It's like,
mhm.
okay, not everyone's doing great all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's completely fine. Um, well, to be honest with you, just recently I've not been doing great as well, but that's normal. I'm never gonna have every single day be a good day. So, you know,
Yeah, man. Well, let me go ahead
yeah,
and just be truthful, I guess, since we're
yeah, yeah,
we're here.
please.
Yeah, man. How I've been lately, there's definitely I've been better. Um I'm good for the most part. But man, there was like it was like I would say last week or a week 2 weeks ago. For whatever reason, it was just like one of those times where I just go through some lows, man. And I feel like it's not fun to go through, but it's like it helps me learn more about myself and like remind me how to cope, right? Because like for anybody who doesn't know, I grew up um kind of not rough, like the life was rough, but like I was like pretty I was bullied for a long time, man. So it kind of like messed my mind up for a good while. And it still kind of affects me in some senses. But like I've grown, I've kind of learned to deal with emotions and certain things and blah blah blah. But there is some days, man, where um like man, like this last week that I was just kind of feeling just terrible, man. There was for whatever reason, my mind just goes to these places, man, and it's not ideal, but I do go through it and I do have to just continue to push forward. And I do, I have my coping mechanisms and such that helps me get through it, but yeah, man, I wasn't really doing well and um there was just times where I just didn't feel like putting myself out there and doing things that I know I should be doing and I would come home and just kind of get in this routine and then man, there was some nights, man, that I'd go to bed and I would not be in a good place, and be shedding some tears, man. And I'm not ashamed to say it, man. It's just hard to say it. I'm not ashamed to say it. It's just hard to say. It's hard to admit that, as old as I am and as funny as I can be to some people, and as much of a light that I bring to people, and I always try to bring that. I don't like to show, how vulnerable I can be, especially with people that hold me to like on a high, in a high light. But I do go through my share of dark days and lonely nights, and yeah, man, I remember this. It was like last week or the week before, man. There was these hard nights, man, hard nights where I'm just like in my feelings and not really loving myself, and it's tough. And yeah, crying in my pillowcase, in my pillow sheets and stuff, man. And that's something that I don't let everybody know. But I'm here to expose myself. This is the reason why I started this podcast, is to show you that, there's parts of me, there's facets of me that people don't know, that people don't,
Yeah,
realize that it takes, these hard hits to appreciate the good days. And that's why whenever I find a friend
definitely.
that I really care about and such, that I want to give them like everything. I want to make sure that they know that they're loved, because in a sense I want them not to love me, but like I want to give the love that I want. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Of course, man. Of course.
So whenever I show love and appreciation to anybody, it's always coming from a place like, I know this is what I want to do for you, because I love and appreciate you, and I would want that, if someone felt that way about me. And
Exactly.
it's not always easy, because it's hard to have a big heart for other people, and some people use it, some people abuse it, um,
Yeah.
and it's definitely happened, and it's just one of those things. But yeah, I'm for the most part now I'm doing great. I'm really getting focused in on this podcast, and more people seem to be interested in getting on and stuff. So I'm grateful. And I love to talk about deep things and things of silly nature. Like before we even started recording, we were going on a huge tangent about technology and loving our 4K displays and
Right.
being audiophiles and such. And man, it's good. I love these conversations, man. And this conversation, what I love is that this conversation will live longer than tonight. You know what I mean? It'll live longer than
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? And I think that's what I want, this content to live longer than myself, because not everybody's going to approach me and like want to get to know me and get all in the deep, and learn of my quirkiness, but also like the things that I deal with personally. But I'm like, dude, let me just put it out there, and then when I'm dead and gone, you'll have somewhere, to a library of information, of content, where you can go and listen in and learn about me. Yeah. But for the most part, I'm doing good, man. I'm great when I'm able to spend times with people I care about. So I'm doing pretty good right now.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Thanks for sharing.
Okay. That was what it
Yeah.
was, but I'm glad it happened, because I knew that eventually I would have to start talking about some of these things. And hey, it is what it is, man. And I don't want any boo-hooing about me, but it's just like, we all go through these things. And I think that the
Mm.
more we talk about being human, the more we can normalize like having these kind of like days or weeks where we're not feeling ourselves, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that's enough of me talking, man.
Oh, no,
Oh
thanks.
man.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no problem, man. But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I feel like that's a good solid time that we can have this discussion. And of course, there's a lot more that we could talk about. There's a lot more we can get into. And I don't know, maybe you want to come back on sometime and we can keep it going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to have returning guests. I don't mind it at all.
Of course.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day. I know that you're kind of, still kind of getting started over there and such, but I do appreciate you wanting to come on and taking the time to be my guest on the Jules and Gems podcast.
Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Seriously.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was my friend Bard, aka Bard Freak, aka the Not So Prince. That was the Jules and Gems podcast. We'll see you in the next one. Hopefully, I've got more content coming. I got more people that are going to come on. So stay tuned. Make sure you're following this page wherever you're listening to it. Make sure you're on my socials, because every time I upload a video or every time a new episode, also a video on YouTube, I'm always posting it on my socials, promoting it and such. And don't want to miss when the new stuff drops. Okay, so be like Bard Freak and be an avid listener, even if it's on the bike, the morning ride or the late night rides. Just listen. All right. Yeah, but that's gonna be it for today. Thank y'all so much for listening. That's all I got. That's the Jules and Gems podcast. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.